What's up everybody, Paul here, and I'm back for another TTM video recapping everything I've gotten in from the last week. 9 returns, and I've been a little bit sidetracked lately because the NHL is now in Seattle with a name, the Seattle Kraken. Release the Kraken. I'm coming to you from the construction site of the Northgate Ice Center, which will be the home of the Seattle Kraken headquarters and practice facility. So behind that fence there, it's not much right now. There's some there's a whole bunch of dirt and some beams are up. The structure of the building is being slowly put together, but at this very spot in a year or two, we will have a hockey team in the NHL practicing, and hopefully me there getting some stuff signed. So really exciting times. I figured I'd do this recap from this location. And so, yeah, 9 things back in the mail. A lot of interesting variety in this batch. So this first success is coming from Atlanta, Georgia. It's a 2 of 2 in 11 days from Atlanta Flames franchise goalie, Dan Bouchard. These are incredible cards, especially this one, the 1974 Topps. It doesn't get any more old school than that, folks. You got the Jason mask, the bygone sweater there, the Atlanta A. Dan Bouchard was the goaltender for the Atlanta Flames, the #1 goalie for their entire existence before they moved to Calgary. We've got a scratched out 1980 Topps here. When they moved to Calgary, he wasn't there very long. He got traded to Quebec and then played out the rest of his career there mostly. 655 games played. When he was in Atlanta, he was backed up mostly by Phil Mear and later some combination of Yves Belanger, Pat Riggin, Reggie Lemelin, Jim Craig for a few games. Great turnaround, great success from Dan Bouchard. The next one is a 3 of 3. 24 days coming from Minnesota. This is a defenseman who played for the Penguins and North Stars, among other teams. Chris Dahlquist, 3 of 3. He signed this pro set just CD number 4, which is interesting because the other 2 he signed pretty nicely with a more full autograph. So interesting that he just did initials here. Maybe it had to do with the fact that he was traded away from the eventual Stanley Cup champion Pittsburgh Penguins that season to Minnesota, the team they would face in the finals. So this card actually says it in a pretty significant place. So that might explain why you may not like that card or something. And then we've got the 91 O-Pee-Chee. I'm sort of working on this set a little bit. And then the 91 Score Canadian there. So nice quick success from him. He played 500 plus games, and later on in his career he was in Calgary and Ottawa. Another guy from the 90s, 4 of 4 in 14 days. This is a defensive forward, physical player. 4 of 4 from Ken Sabarin. So Ken Sabarin was a Turner Cup champion with the Salt Lake Golden Eagles. He made his debut with Calgary for a few games late in the 88-89 season, and then was with the team when they won their Stanley Cup in 1989. He played 1 game in the playoffs. Get that to focus there. And that 1 playoff game was enough for him to get a Stanley Cup ring, but not the name on the cup. Still cool that he was part of that team. He was with the Washington Capitals in the early 90s, and so that's where these 3 cards come from. You got the 91 O-Pee-Chee. There, you've got the Score Canadian, 1991-92, and then your 91 Upper Deck. It's a pretty cool shot of him there. He bounced around the minors, mostly with the Milwaukee Admirals between 92 and 99. He is now a broadcaster for the Washington Capitals, and so this came back from the DC area. Breaking things up a little bit with a referee, so this is a 5 out of 4 coming from Mike Lego, the former NHL referee. He signed my 90-91 Pro Set remakes, my customs, nicely there. He signed all 4 of them. I always offered for him to keep all the extras. He decided to just sign all 4 of them, send them back, which is nice of him. This was coming out of Temecula, California. He also included his own NHL Officials Association trading card. This is the same one that Wes McCauley gave me. So it's cool to see that he threw that in. He was an official in the NHL from 1996 to 2017. He officiated in the 2014 Sochi Olympics, a total of 1,200 plus games refereed. So quite the career from Mike Lego. The next two that I have here are coming from the 1992 Memorial Cup champion Kamloops Blazers. That team won a Memorial Cup here in Seattle. Seattle hosted the tournament that year. And so we start with the coach of that team. The coach of that team was Tom Rennie. So this is a 2 of 2. These are the old 1990 and 1991 seventh inning sketch cards. There he is as the coach. Signed those nicely in black. He, of course, won the Memorial Cup and then was an NHL head coach for a time with Vancouver, the Rangers, Edmonton. He's now the CEO of Team Canada, so the return address there says Hockey Canada, so that's where I sent to him. The other one I got back was a 3 of 3 plus an awesome note. This is why I love writing to some of these players who are not necessarily NHL guys, but they still had interesting careers. This is a success from Jarrett Bosket. I think that's how you pronounce that. So same sets here, 7th inning sketch with WHL from 1990 and 1991. And this one is from the 91-92 season, the one on the right here, where they won the Memorial Cup. Signed those pretty neatly and nicely. And the other cool thing about Jarrett is that he didn't have much of a pro career necessarily, but he played for the 1997 Sacramento River Rats. Who remembers the Roller Hockey International League? Man, that was a fun league. I grew up watching the San Jose Rhinos. I went to those games in the mid-90s, and as a roller hockey player, it was always so cool to be able to watch a game, and then they let you onto the rink to skate on the arena floor afterwards if you wanted. This is one of the teams the Rhinos played against regularly. Sacramento has never had ice hockey in its history. They did have this team. So I wanted to get something signed from that team. I wrote to Jarrett in my letter, I mentioned that, and he wrote back this awesome note. And this is, again, why I enjoy writing to some of these guys. He's now an agent, NHL agent, and he wrote back this nice letter here. Basically, he says, thank you for your letter, Paul. Yes, 1992 was a long time ago. We just actually had a Blazer reunion before COVID hit. It was great to see all the guys again from that team. Sacramento was a great time. Yes, we played in an outdoor arena under the lights. That's at the Cal Expo. They played most of their existence out of Arco Arena, where the Sacramento Kings used to play. They didn't take into account bugs or attracted to light, so as we were playing, beetles would be dive bombing the court. They actually had to take breaks, and roller ice girls had to skate out to sweep all the bugs off the court. Both were great times, and it's funny that you remember the old RHI. I hope all is well. Best regards. This is great. Jarrett Bosket is currently an agent in the NHL. He represents Shea Weber, Cody Eakin, Lars Eller, Elias Anderson, according to the site I looked that up on. So that's a great success. Very, very cool note back. So we're down to the final three. These are all, these successes here are all guys from the 70s. The next two here are California Golden Seals. So 2 of 2 in 31 days coming from Peterborough, Ontario. This is former California Golden Seal Joey Johnston, former captain of the Golden Seals. We've got the 1973 O-Pee-Chee, signed nicely there. And then a 1974 Topps. Really cool. I love these cards. Yeah, Johnston played for the Seals from 71 to 75. In 1972, the WHA opened up and poached a bunch of guys off of this team, so he had to step up. He led the team in goals for 2 straight seasons. He was the Seals representative in the NHL All-Star Games in 73, 74, and 75. He went to the Chicago Blackhawks, but unfortunately, not long into his time with that team, he got into a car crash, and that pretty much ended his career. He was able to play another season, but he kind of slowed down, ended up retiring. Great success from Joey Johnston. And then another old California Seal from the original 6-time. Also, Earl Ingerfield, coming from Lethbridge, Alberta. This one came back in just over a month, 34 days. He signed that really nicely there. This is a Parkhurst Missing Link card. And then this is a 1970 O-Pee-Chee. I love, again, these old school cards look amazing. He played for the Rangers 1958 to 67, and then was an original Pittsburgh Penguin 1967 to 69. Then he went to the Oakland Seals for 2 years. He was also briefly the coach of the Islanders in their very first season. He was a replacement coach for a part of that season. That team was not very good. But overall, you know, a solid career, 746 NHL games. So Earl Ingerfield, a great old-time hockey success. Now, final TTM of the night here, and this one is epic. You may not recognize the name Dick Roberge. However, if you are a fan of old-time hockey and old-time minor league hockey, he's a legend. He's the all-time leading goal scorer in minor league hockey. He scored 756 goals, 1,740 points during his time, mostly with the Johnstown Jets. He did play for New Westminster a little bit, but 1954 through 72, pretty much, he played for the Johnstown Jets. He was their leader. Later on, from 1967 on, he was their coach, so he was a player coach for a while. When he retired, he became the coach of the Johnstown Jets. You can kind of see where this is going. He was the inspiration for Reg Dunlop in Slapshot. And so this guy is an absolute legend. He's right up there in terms of minor league hockey with Guile Fielder, Art Jones, and Fred Glover. He was also in the movie Slapshot. If you remember the referee who threw out the Hanson brothers, you out! And he threw Hanrahan out of the game after he flipped out, and he also watched Killer Carlson get his ass kicked by Barclay Donaldson and just shook his head and said, too much too soon. We're talking about referee Ecker. So I made this custom index card because I thought it'd be cool to get him to sign something from the movie. Again, this is such a great success. It's coming out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It took 11 days. He's getting up there in years, so I figured I'd send to him. This is such a cool piece. I love sending to some of these minor league players who may have been overlooked by NHL guys but still had legendary careers. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully next time I come back here, a little more of this practice facility will have been built. I can't wait to release the Kraken here pretty soon. And in fact, stay tuned. I might have a video out here pretty soon detailing what I've gotten signed by NHL Seattle so far in terms of the team staff and the group of folks they're putting together to build this team. I've been a huge supporter of NHL Seattle over the years, so this is going to be great. So thanks for watching, and take care. Release the Kraken.